Hey Kamook heads, today we are going to be making our own set of Adventure Time legends in Magic the Gathering. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and follow, and all the other stuff you can do, comment, something like that. But anyway, I basically use this website that you can make Magic the Gathering cards with. I'm gonna gatekeep it. So I mean, if you want the answer, just go ahead and comment. I need that sweet engagement. But yeah, we're just making a bunch of Magic the Gathering cards, like set in Adventure Time. Hopefully they're gonna be pretty flavorful. Like, I mean, I tried to design them as flavorfully as I could. I'll explain everything behind, like all the thinking that was behind each card. But we're gonna just go ahead and start right off with Finn the Human. Right, Finn the Human, 2 generic, red and white, legendary creature, human avatar. So that right there, I call him a human avatar because he's technically an avatar of the Catalyst Comet, like he's a reincarnation. So I just said avatar might be a good thing to put on him. He has Double Strike, which is just like Finn's like a pretty physical guy. I mean, in the show he fights, so Double Strike. I mean, he's aggressive, I guess, or at least in the beginning. I mean, he's a brawler at the end of the day. When Finn enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Dude, that's basically him grabbing his sword. I was going to make a sword token, like a Scarlet, Scarlet. That's the name of his sword with the red gem. But I decided against it. I mean, I still can, maybe later on in the video I'll show you whatever, but I don't have to. Or I was thinking maybe the Demon Blood Sword or the Finn sword. You could make so many cool equitable artifacts with this, but yeah. And then I put, whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Now I kind of regret this a little bit because it should have been equipment, because this is just showing that the equipment gets into Finn's hands, or not even a Finn's hands, onto the battlefield. Finn grabs it and he gets stronger with the +1/+1 counter. It should have been whenever you equipped an artifact to Finn the Human, put a +1/+1 counter on him. I think that would have been a better idea. But yeah, this is all just in retrospect. And this has Brothers Forever. Brothers Forever is basically partner, but only with Finn and Jake, who I'm going to be discussing later. And I put in the flavor text, ah! You know how Finn sometimes screams, ah! I can't do it. My voice doesn't go that high. But yeah, that's Finn the Human. So yeah, Boros Commander, or partner with Jake. We're gonna do Jake the dog right now, actually. Let's do Jake next. All right, Jake the dog. This is probably a little bit harder to design than Finn was, or honestly most of the characters that I did end up designing for this Adventure Time Commanders video. So Jake the dog is 2 generic, 1 red and a green, and legendary creature, alien dog. The alien dog, obviously coming from the fact that Jake is this weird blue alien. Actually, he's not magic. He's just his powers are completely biological. His dad is from another planet, and yeah, so he's an alien, and he has trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may move any amount of +1/+1 counters among creatures you control onto Jake the dog. So this is supposed to synergize with Finn's ability. Now Finn's ability, like I said, I would have narrowed it down to only putting +1/+1 counters on him if equipments came down. But yeah, this is just supposed to represent the teamwork between Jake and Finn. Yeah, the +1/+1 counters. It's also supposed to represent Jake's stretching and retracting. So that's where this next activated ability comes. This is for X amount of mana, 2 red and a green. Remove X amount of +1/+1 counters from Jake. Deal X damage to target creature. Now I only put creature because any target might have been a little bit too OP, because maybe you could do some crazy shenanigans with +1/+1 counters, especially in green and white. Yeah, to be fair. So yeah, this is just supposed to be represent Jake growing and shrinking. He can put as many +1/+1 counters, take +1/+1 counters off from other characters and put them onto himself. That's not too flavorful. I mean, I don't think, but yeah, it's supposed to represent Jake growing and shrinking. And he also has Brothers Forever, so he can be partner with Finn. So yeah, he's a 1/1. We're starting him off small so that he has room to grow, basically. But yeah, his flavor text is do not do tier 15, which I'm pretty sure is sex. But yeah, that's what he told to Finn. Up next, we have Finn, Errant of Ooh. Now this is actually, I like this commander a lot better than Finn the Human, the one that I designed. This was the first Finn I designed. This is the first, actually, Adventure Time character I designed in the first place. So yeah, he is legendary creature for 2 generic, 1 red, green, and white. Basically, he also has a human avatar creature type, which is for the same reason. He's like the reincarnation of the Catalyst Comet. And I went full, like, all in on the flavor here because I actually made this an adventure card where, which is a card where you could play a version of it that is an instant or sorcery sometimes, and the version of it that is a creature. So you could play the adventure side, which says what time is it, adventure time obviously, which is this effect is for 5 generic, 1 white. Search the top 12 cards in your library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. I'm satisfied with that. It might be a little expensive, I'm not gonna lie. It might be a little expensive, but we're not gonna worry about that. And then trample and haste, and obviously that's supposed to represent Finn getting his weapons, which he's a big weapon head, I suppose, swords and knives and stuff. And he has trample and haste. Whenever Finn deals combat damage to a player, return it to its owner's hand and create a treasure token. So the whole return to its opponent's hand is supposed to be like him. He fights, he beats the monster, he fights the other player, and then he goes home with treasure, basically, like Finn hitting them and then coming home with treasure. So that was the flavor behind that. He's a 4/3, so he's not too beefy, but you can use the equipment to like search out an equipment, put it onto Finn, deal the damage, bring Finn back, and then you get the equipment search again. Like I said, I would, like, if I were to remake it, like in retrospect, I would make the instant a little bit less expensive, especially since they are cheaper cards that will do a full tutor for equipment. Although they don't always bring the equipment straight to the battlefield. So yeah, I was thinking about that. Maybe I would like make it a 3 or 2 mana instant, and then maybe allow them to search the entire library. No, only top 12 because you can get some very expensive equipment. But he generates treasure tokens. Yeah, he has I actually incorporated green into his mana cost just because Jake died, and I was like, he wears Jake on his chest with the whole tattoo, so I thought that would be kind of flavorful. I wanted to make him an artifact creature because of the metal arm, but I decided not to. I decided that was stepping too far. Human avatar is fine enough, so that's Finn. Older Finn, I suppose. Up next, we have Marceline, the Vampire Queen. She's 6 generic, 1 black or red. She's a legendary creature, vampire demon, which is because in the show, she's actually a cross between a vampire and demon. At first, she was half demon, half human, but then she became half vampire, half demon. So yeah, she has Mountain Walk, which means like anyone playing red mana, she hits them no matter what, which is supposed to be flavorful because like she like drinks red. So there's that. So there's Indestructible because she survived getting cut in half. That could have been Regenerators or something. I'm pretty sure that's a mechanic in Magic the Gathering, but this is I think Indestructible is fine. It's a little OP, but that's why I made it so expensive. And she has haste, which is just supposed to be, Marceline's pretty fast, I guess. Whenever Marceline deals combat damage to a player, destroy target creature you don't control. Marceline gains its abilities until end of turn. She can steal the abilities of the vampire she killed, and she theoretically could do this with like regular people, but she doesn't. So whatever, I guess. And then we have the flavor text which says, "Oh boy, I am famished," which is the flavor text, which is like what she says when she's about to kill the Vampire King, or like suck his soul, I suppose. And she's a 4/4. This card's a little expensive. I mean, a little overpowered, but like and expensive. But you could play it with like what Ironcrag Feet. That's what I was hoping for. People would just play it with Ironcrag Feet, which adds like 7 mana, which is exactly how much this costs. Up next, we have LSP, or Lumpy Space Princess, the Anti-Elemental. Now, this is obviously supposed to represent that one time that LSP basically became the Anti-Elemental during the Elementals arc of Adventure Time. She is Wooburg and legendary creature, Elemental, obviously. I don't know if she really qualifies as an Elemental in the series, but I guess we're just going to put her there because I don't know. And it says, whenever you cast a spell, move all counters from target permanent. So this can straight up like kill planeswalkers. It can there's like a land that like this really interacts with like where I think you need to remove all counters and then it becomes like a 20/20 or something. And that's all it says. I mean, this is the flavor wise, this is because that basically her power, or like what she was used for in order to like save the day in Elementals, is that like they gave her all the Princess Stones, and she was able to reduce like all the characters in Ooh to their like essential forms, getting rid of all the elemental nonsense that was happening. So yeah, the flavor text says Drama Bomb because that's one of her quotes, and she is a 1/2. Yeah, pretty light on abilities, but I think that like in the right deck, this could be really OP for only 5 mana. So yep, Drama Bomb. Up next, we have Princess Bubblegum for 2 generic, 1 white, 1 blue, and 1 black. Now, I put black in because Princess Bubblegum is actually a pretty dark character when you really think about it, but we're not going to talk about it too much, even though she has like skeletons, actual skeletons in her lair. And blue is the smart part about her, and white is the somewhat nice part about her, depending on who you are, I suppose. She is a mutant elemental. Mutant because she came from the Mother Gum, which was like some mutated gum right after the Mushroom War, and then elemental because she has elemental abilities like Slime Princess, Flame Princess, and like who else? Patient Sinclair. Yeah, she can shoot jelly beans, which is kind of bad, but you know, it's fine. Okay, hexproof. I don't know why I put hexproof on it. I forgot. I guess hexproof's just on there. So yeah, people like hexproof. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 Candy Citizen token with lifelink. This is basically just supposed to represent like how she uses all her tools and stuff to create these Candy Citizens, and yeah, lifelink just because they're sweet, I suppose. So yeah, her flavor text says, "I'll eat you, I'll eat your mom, I'll eat your eggs." And this is like what happened when she was trying to kill all those varmints, and yeah, she just crashed out for no reason. So yeah, she's a 1/3. I think I like this design pretty well. I think it's pretty. It's a card I would play definitely for an artifact deck. Up next, we have Flame Princess, which is mono red for 6. Legendary creature, noble elemental. I should have said elemental noble because that just rolls off the tongue better, but like too late. Whenever you cast a sorcery from exile, deal 4 damage to each opponent. I like this because a lot of the mono red wants to do is exile cards and allow you to play them till end of turn. So there you go. Play them and deal a ton of damage. And for 2 red, you can exile the top card of your library, and you may play that card this turn. And her flavor text says, do the splits. I think this is pretty flavorful, this card and all. Just because, I mean, she's Flame Princess. Like, what else are you going to do but burn things? I mean, I was thinking maybe I should do, like, any target, but that might be too OP. But, yeah, she should be able to burn creatures as well. But that's what the 2/4 is for, I suppose. You could be a blocker and attacker if you really need it. But, yeah, she has a little big butt on her with the 4. And yeah, she has do the splits for her flavor text. I think I might have said that before, but yeah. That's for that one scene where she forces that poor dude to do the splits. Up next, we have Lady Rainicorn for Sans Black. She's a legendary creature, unicorn. I wasn't gonna put late Rainicorn because I didn't feel like it. She has flying, of course, because Lady Rainicorn could fly. I mean, so there you go. At the beginning of your end step, if a dog and unicorn enter the battlefield under your control during this turn, draw a card and create a 2/2 pup token. So this would basically be like a dog unicorn tribal deck, which is pretty like unprecedented. I was thinking of doing an anthem, like putting 2 like +1/+1 counters on each dog uniform, or not even counters, like +1/+1 effects on each of them. But I decided against it. I decided drawing a card and creating a token once per turn was like good enough. And you already have like green, so like what else could you possibly need? Yeah, and also red, white, blue, red, and green is just the colors that are on Lady Rainicorn. I mean, there's no pink color in Magic the Gathering, but you know, there you go. I didn't want to make her Wooburg because I thought like there's nothing about her that's like that's too dark, I suppose, except for the fact that Rainicorns eat humans, so maybe black should have been in there. But yeah, there's some Korean because Lady Rainicorn canonically speaks Korean. That's in the flavor text. I won't tell you what it means, but it does actually mean something. It's not just nonsense, and it is a quote from her. So yeah, she's a 4/4, so she's pretty tanky. And yeah, that's Lady Rainicorn. Up next, we have Simon Petrikov, which is actually the favorite design I did. Like, this is my favorite right here that I did. I thought it was pretty creative. Not to toot my own horn too much, but Simon Petrikov comes in for 1 generic, 1 blue, and a black, and he's a legendary creature, human antiquarian, which is what he said he was like a billion times. I'm an antiquarian. Like, no one cares. No one knows what that is, bro. But antiquarians apparently study like ancient artifacts and stuff like that. So I said I did Artifacts and enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I'm proud of that one. I'm proud of that one. You can make an enchantress deck or an artifact deck if you want. And then for three generic blue and a black, if you both own and control Simon Petrikov and an artifact named the Crown, exile them, then meld in them into Ice King. So we're gonna flip it over to Ice King. Or let's do the Crown first, actually. So we just have the Crown for 3 generic mana, legendary artifact. At the beginning of your end step, discard a card. And that whole discard a card thing is just basically supposed to represent like Ice King losing his mind, or the Crown user losing their minds. And equip the creature has flying, and whenever this creature attacks, tap each creature target opponent controls. So basically, you know, he has flying from like the powers that the Ice Crown gives, like the Crown gives the user flying and the ability to use ice, and that's basically them tapping the creatures because the creatures are like frozen, like they can't fight anymore, or you know, block, I suppose. Yeah. So as equipped for 0 and meld with Simon Petrikov. So yeah, I like the design on the Crown too, and Simon makes it cheaper to cast, so I think there's pretty good synergy and flavor there. I also put it as equipped for 0 because the Crown almost like calls to people, so you don't have to pay to equip it. Like, I think that was fair. And then we have Simon Petrikov's flip side slash like it, like when it melds with the Crown, is we just get Ice King, legendary creature, human wizard, flying, indestructible. The indestructible is supposed to represent the fact that like Ice King, he's immortal, he lives forever as long as he has a crown, basically. And it says tap an artifact, tap target non-land permanent, and opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Some might say that the ability of just like the base Crown is better, but you do lose that card every turn, like discard. Some decks want to discard a card, so that might be good for them. But yeah, I like the design. This is like my favorite design, is Ice King and the Crown, the one I did. Like, I thought it was the best one for flavor-wise, creativity-wise, and all that. He's a 3/5, and yeah, he obviously costs no mana because he is a melded creature. So there you go. All right, up next we got BMO, the Immortal King of Ooh. So this is basically a reference to that one time, like in Adventure Time. I think it was like Distant Lands, or no, it was a finality, where, you know, Shermie and Beth, like the reincarnations of Finn and Jake, basically found out that there was a King of Ooh, and it was basically BMO, who's like technically immortal because he's like a robot, and robots can't really age. But I mean, I feel like he should have like rusted or something by now. It's like 1,000 years into the future, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that's factual. But yeah, so BMO, Immortal King of Ooh, he is 2 generic, colorless, legendary artifact creature, robot, and he has tap, pay 2 energy counters, draw a card, and gain 1 life. So yeah, I mean, the flavor behind there isn't really like anything too deep. So the energy counter is obviously supposed to like represent like him being plugged in, or he has batteries, like he's a robot, so he takes energy. And we know that a lot more like explicitly from BMO. But yeah, pay 2 and then draw a card and gain 1 life. That's supposed to represent like fun, the fun from like playing a BMO game or something, you know. You're having fun, you're drawing a card, you're gaining a life, you know. So that could be pretty good. And certain decks, I guess, that care about energy counters, and like it's a pretty decent payoff if you ask me. Like, energy counters for a card, I mean, energy counters isn't a whole thing that I don't think anyone really cared about to begin with, but I mean, this could help. This could go in any deck, so because it's colorless, and I think colorless is where BMO should be. I mean, it would either be colorless or like white mana, maybe like a one white and generic or something like that, you know. But yeah, I had his flavor text as "Who wants to play BMO games?" where he goes, "Who wants to play BMO games?" BMO games. I can't go that high. Holy crap! I think I was screaming too much earlier. But anyway, he is a 0/1 because BMO can't really hurt anybody.
Sorry. I killed Jake!
He's just a little robot. He's too tiny.
Get out!
Now up next we have 2 different kinds of the Lich. I actually only I did 2. I wanted to do 3 because I wanted to see Lich in like certain colors, like I put him in black, green, and mono black, but this is the black green one. So this one just reads the Lich. For 3 generic, 2 black, and a green, legendary creature, avatar, wizard. So the green is basically like it's only there to put him in Golgari, really. I mean, I don't think Lich has done anything to green except for like the Well of Power, and green is like a big part of his themes. I mean, he literally has green eyes, green pupils, so yeah. But I think he's more of a mono black, but this card, I'm not mad about it. So he has Death Touch and Undying, which I think is both works pretty well in his character, and he's also an avatar wizard because he's the avatar of the negative catalyst Comet, you know, the one that brought evil to U. So yeah, it has sacrifice a creature, add 2 black, and activate this only once per turn. I think I should have put this twice or maybe infinitely. Like I think that would have been fine. It would have just been like a Ashnod's Altar, but like more expensive. Like there's nothing too bad about that. And more specific, like you add specifically black mana, which would be really good in like a deck that's mostly mono black, which is also why I kept this in a Golgari. I mean, I suppose you can have the Lich in a Golgari deck that's mostly mono black, but I don't know why anyone would do that. At the beginning of each upkeep, gain control of target creature with no equipment on it until end of turn. So yeah, the whole idea is you're gaining control of the creature, and this is from like the Lich's, like his ability to command things like fall or cease or like all that other crap that he says, or aren't you cold, Finn? Come here. So he's like basically attracting control, because you know when he was fighting Finn, Finn had the little protection thing on, like almost an equipment, like the protection thing that Princess Bubblegum gave him, and that was what kept him from being controlled by a Lich. But once that broke, then the Lich was able to gain control of him for like a little bit. But then the sweater helped him out, so whatever. And then yeah, his flavor text is "Aren't you cold?" Yeah, which is, I think it's fine. It's a line that he says. It's pretty hard, and he's a 2/6, so it's whatever. And then yeah, the Undying, by the way, if I didn't mention it before, is like the fact that he can basically Lich, his whole shtick is that like he just keeps coming back no matter what. He's basically the he's basically the Afton, the William Afton of Adventure Time. So yeah, you can never stay down for good. All right, up next we have the Lich again, Putrid Deceiver. Now this one I kind of messed up on the image because this is technically one from Fiona and Cake, but I thought it was so hard that I wanted to include it. But I really should have put like the Lich when he was looking more like Billy, like more half and half. But the one for Fiona and Cake is like a much more aged and withered version of Billy Suit Lich. But yeah, this is supposed to represent Billy Suit Lich anyway. This is a 2 generic, 3 black. Legendary creatures, zombie wizard. So I took that avatar out of this one just because I was doing a different thing. I was like, oh, let's make this a wizard since we already have one of him in the avatar. So his text reads, the Lich cannot be sacrificed. So at the beginning of each end step, each player sacrifices a creature. Pay 2 life. The Lich gains the abilities of target permanent in the graveyard. So this is basically to reflect that the Lich basically like killed Billy and then gained control of his body. So that's reflected in the fact that like he gains control of the abilities of any like permanent in the graveyard, and it should be creature. I don't know why I put permanent. This should be creature. It gives him ability of target creature in the graveyard. Yeah, it's too late. That's just retrospect again. But I also put the flavor text as the Fiona and Cake version of the Lich, which technically is the same version of Lich that killed Billy and took his body. Technically, watch my other video for that. But yeah. So the flavor text reads, so you have risen again. In olden days, I would have rewarded your insolence with a death 1,000-fold. Which is what he says to Simon when he shows back up at the Lich's cave, where on the world where everyone's supposed to be dead, technically. So the Lich just assumes that this is the same Ice King that he automatically killed with the wish from Prismo. So yeah, this is a 5/3. And speaking of Prismo, he's up next. Up next, we have Prismo the Dreamer. He costs 1 generic and a blue. Legendary creature, human avatar, because he is technically an avatar of Prismo, or Prismo is an avatar of him, or I don't know what to call this guy. I mean, he's definitely not human, since Prismo did imply that he could live for 1,000 years, and it would take that amount of time for him to fall back asleep. But this guy has a lot of text on him, because there's just a lot of things I wanted to do with him, and like flavor-wise, so yeah, I put in a lot. So Prismo enters tapped. Prismo doesn't untap during your untap step, or if you control a Djinn. So, I made Prismo a Jinn, like the actual like Wishmaster version of him. And him being tapped, this version of Prismo, the Dreamer version, is basically just supposed to reflect him like being asleep. So obviously, so it goes on to say, Jinns and spirits you control have +2/+2 and cost 3 less to cast. You're gonna see why that is in a minute. And whenever Prismo is dealt damage, create a 1/1 black spirit token with flying. So that's the whole that's the whole thing with how, you know, Finn and Jake were beating the crap out of sleeping Prismo while he was asleep, and he didn't wake up from this actually. But what did happen is that a bunch of spirits like emerged from his mouth, like black versions of Prismo that like were attacking Finn and Jake. So yeah, him being able to buff Jinns and spirits definitely reflect like him giving them power or life, like such as like the damage dealing, and you know what I mean. You could see the flavor. I could tell you're a smart guy. Anyway, and making Jinns cost 3 less to cast, and spirits also kind of reflect that, like him making it easier when he sleeps. So if you finally are able to get Prismo untapped, you can tap it again for Wooburg, returning all cards with the creature type Jinn from your graveyard to the battlefield. And his flavor text is, "Are you my son?" Which is what he asked the Lich. I don't know why he thinks the freaking Lich was his son. The Lich was completely disfigured when he asked that question. So I don't know what you're talking about, Prismo, but whatever. And he is in 05 because he could take a crazy beating while he was asleep. So yeah, his power toughness is 0.5 because obviously a sleeping man can't really hurt anybody. So that's Prismo the Dreamer. So second part of that is, and the last character I made a card of is Prismo the Wishmaster, who is 4 Wooburg. So Prismo the Dreamer will actually get him out a lot earlier than he typically would be out. Yeah, legendary creature Jinn avatar. So he's a Jinn. The whole thing about him being a Jinn is like he's like Genie, pretty much. You know, he grants wishes. Get it? So we have the Wish Room effect, which gives the creatures you control hexproof, which will keep his human version alive. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, Cascade, you may cast the Cascaded card if able. Now, what I mean by this is whenever a creature, any creature, enters the battlefield, like a creature your opponents control enters the battlefield, you get to Cascade or wish for something. This is like almost like their wish, the creature's wish that you're granting as Prismo. So yeah, it might not always be something they want. Well, it's not something they want because it's something from your deck. You cascade the mana cost of whatever they played, pretty much. I could probably have explained that a little better on the card, but yeah. But you have to cast the card, like you must, because the wishes, no matter what, will come true. And yeah, his flavor text is, memories will be destroyed, babies will not be born, potential's worlds will be evaporated by your wish. Now I made this so OP because it starts off at a -1, so you could only really play Prismo if you have some type of token, like if you have some type of like anthem that's keeping creatures, like giving them +2/+2, like out of the negatives basically, because even if you do have an anthem giving creatures +1/+1, he's still going to enter with 0/0. So we need Prismo the Dreamer on the battlefield to cast Prismo, and he'll enter as a 1/1. And I kept him low just because he's like a little shadow. I mean, honestly, I would have had him at a 1/0 if it weren't for the fact that Prismo needs his human version of himself in order to keep him alive. And I really wanted to reflect that through this card. So yeah, there you go. Prismo is -1. And yeah, Wish Room gives the creatures hexproof because in the Wish Room, no one's affected by the wishes on the outside world. Like, so when the Lich destroyed all life with his wish, then Finn and Jake were fine just because they were in Prismo's Wish Room. In other words, they had hexproof, you know. So yeah, there's the flavor behind that. So yeah, this basically makes you cascade. I was thinking about giving it a discover effect, but I was like, and forcing you to play the discover, even if it was a board wipe, it would like screw you over. Whoever it might screw over, you would be forced to cast it because that's just how the nature of Prismo's wish is. Like, it's a monkey's paw type of thing. And yeah, the Dreamer basically keeps Prismo alive by dreaming him into existence. So yeah, and that's also like Jinn and Spirit tribal right there. So yeah. I thought they were pretty flavorful. I thought all the cards here are flavorful, but that's yeah. That is my Adventure Time set. My little group of legendaries. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15 legendaries I covered today. Some of them were artifacts. Most of them are creatures. And it was really fun to do, honestly. This is the most fun thing I've done on YouTube so far. Or I think it was only 14. I mean, the amount doesn't matter. I mean, this is one of my longer videos, but it was really fun to make. I love designing cards and like incorporating their flavor. Please hire me, Wizards. Please hire me. I'm gonna do regular show next, and I might like focus on doing like other cards from other franchises, like maybe, I don't know, Star versus the Forces of Evil. What else is there? I'll take a crack at Steven Universe. Dang, this wizard hat won't stay on. But you know, yeah, that was really fun. Again, hire me, Wizards, bro. Like I could do this for a living. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I could get into other franchises and things like that. But yeah, it was I love incorporating the flavor, like making the cards I want to see in the game. And you feel free to give me suggestions for franchises you might want to use, or you might want to see me like create, or you know, just if you want to use these cards in your groups, like maybe print them out and play them. I will give you like I'll give you a link to them, the website you can use to find them. And yeah, just feel free to print them out, play them with your friends, and have fun, you know. I think that all these cards can be like played. These aren't like unset cards. Like these cards could be played in a regular game of Magic. So yeah, if you ever want to, feel free. I might gatekeep the website, but I won't gatekeep the cards. So yeah, have fun. I think that's gonna be it. I'm kind of rambling. So see you guys later, and like and subscribe first before I say my low line. Stay scheming or keep dreaming. Thanks for watching. Psalm chapter 18, verse 1 through 2. I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold.